Hello and welcome, Pisces. This is going to be a zodiac specific reading, hopefully a little bit more geared towards love and money. What I've done is channeled a few messages on some note cards blindly. So I took some, wrote the symbols on the back, channeled the messages, wrote them down, some little impressions, and so on. And then I've got a couple of oracle cards, about 4 actually, that were also shuffled with intention and placed on various piles without my knowledge of which went on which pile and went to which sign. And then we're going to, after we read those, we're going to go into the Akashic Tarot and get out some additional messages to round out the reading. So the one thing that I found incredibly interesting is you were towards the end of the channeled messages, but I was when I first picked up your card, I was sitting there holding it, and again, I didn't know, but the first thing I thought is, this is Pisces. Maybe it's just about Piscean energy. And then I thought, what's in that sign? Neptune is retrograde at the very end of that sign and pushing, as I'm just looking over onto my chart here on it's pushing into the next sign, which is going to ultimately end in Aries, the beginner of the zodiac. And so those types of signs might have a lot to do with your energy because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces also. So it's been in its own sign. It's going to take its time making its way out of that sign. But then it's as though to say, there are a few different types of individuals within every sign. We all have our own little stereotypes and our differences, of course. But generally speaking, Pisces is the collective unconscious, and you can sometimes be compared to being a psychic sponge, especially if you're here viewing this type of information. Most likely you are on that end of the Pisces spectrum, so to speak, and it's a mutable energy, but you may have some elements in the other, well, inevitably you'll have something somewhere else in your chart. Very few people have all of their stuff in one sign. It would be virtually almost impossible because of so many factors. But all of this tangent, but it was interesting to me that the first thought was Pisces. So you're showing up very strong in your own energy. And I believe that this is like you really wanting to get on with something, moving into the Aries territory. It's like, yeah, I get this. I know myself pretty well at this point, and I see my gifts. But when can we get started with what's next? So some type of anticipation energy here. And here I am dawdling at the beginning. So here's the rest of your messages. So priestess power is coming online. The collective unconscious may be overwhelming your personal circuitry by the meaning that you may be, whether you're aware of this or not, you may be influenced by the extreme fluctuations going on in the collective around the world, in your local communities, or at, perhaps your workplace or your family or relationship or something like that. So whatever individuals are repressing, suppressing that underlying vibration of tension that is evidenced when we have different astrological movements seems to be also overwhelming to you. So you may really do yourself some favors if you do take good care with your cleansing rituals, especially maybe swimming, but whatever feels good to your energy. So this circuitry is overwhelming and influencing the perspectives that you're able to hold in regards to the relationships that are in your life, and also your outlook on your personal relationship and or the new relationships that you'd like to call in. So you are respected and loved, and in all caps, you are seen. Feel the lovers amongst the collective unconscious that are hoping, helping, and supporting your energy, accepting you as the imperfectly perfect miracle that you are, Pisces. And send healing to the haters. So feel the lovers, heal the haters. Be open to receiving the compliments that are readily available. And you may want to plan something special in order to show your care for a cause or another individual. There's a caveat here. Don't chase any shoulda, woulda, coulda energy, which is like, oh, well, if I knew now what I knew then, I would have done this. So, or, that one ex, we had it pretty good and this other one was bad. So maybe I'll call them up during Mercury retrograde. Continue to be in the present and to beautify your present tense without backtracking into what hasn't worked in the past and trying to reform that. Just continue to work with the flow of where things are going now. So, documents regarding your money, your holdings, some type of legacy that you'd like to leave. So maybe something like preparation for wills, or even exit strategy for some type of cooperative venture, or different types of contracts, estates, setting up college funds, retirements, accessing those funds, or even just thinking of those. Maybe some things coming up into your awareness. And for some others of you, there may be some snafus that you may need to look at here, as far as potentially spending, perhaps things showing up on your bills. Looking over those just a little bit might be something you need to do, or to document something to prove some type of something. I don't know how that would come out in your own personal, but you'll know your situation the best. But there's potentially the need to review your allocations, how things are funneling, how things are performing. So that cost benefit analysis, like, oh, I've been putting a lot of time and attention into this thing here, but it's not really all that fulfilling, but I've been really wanting to do this, but I haven't had the time. Maybe it's time to reallocate your energy investments from certain diversions into something more fulfilling here. So there's a bit of ins and outs, things coming and going. Also, developing your nest egg here, or ideas about that. You may even be considering a big purchase, or some type of dream vacation, or some type of trip or getaway. There may be a need to travel, or plans in the future, like saying with that retirement, like maybe in the future, it's like, what would I want out of my retirement? Would I want to travel? Would I want to have a dedicated homestead? Would I want to go over the country in a motorcycle, or a trike? Who knows, as we get older. But perhaps there's also, if you do have partners or groups that you're involved with in some type of financial means, there may be some differences of opinion based on spending plans, savings, allocation, and so on. So maybe there's a need to kind of create a board where somebody is required to show the state of the finances, spending ins and outs, and so on. And so also the end of this is navigation of negative versus the positive mindsets of both the individuals in the groups in our lives, as well as within our own mindsets. How we can be very positively minded in some ways, but are we really letting that positivity become more than a belief and into that held vibration that attracts greater? Or are there certain types of negativity, either from within or projected or evidenced in the groups that we're navigating around? So some of that may come up in the coming time. Your first oracle card is Wolf, Pathfinder. I love this intensity of that wolf. Release your past and start a new journey. You're the teacher and help others to find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is very strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. So that's really a powerful totem energy here. So with the perseverance and endurance here, you may have a steadying influence in your astrological makeup, where you have some heavy earth energy that's really grounding you, and that may be something that helps you as a Pisces to get your finances and things like that settled and in order, and to not be completely distracted and overwhelmed by the fluctuations of the outer world. But you may be also somebody who, because of your ability to resonate with the flux and flow, you may be somebody who's able to find the right words and the right individuals in your contacts, that you're able to teach them how to navigate their own way, as it says here. So you have a deep inner strength. But I'll also mention that the wolf is someone that runs in a pack. They talk about lone wolves, but in the wild you'll generally see that wolves run in packs. So if you've been being a lone wolf for a long time, there's probably a real need to re-engage with others here. And if you have been a lone wolf, that could be in reference here to feel the lovers and heal the haters at 1, 2, 3, 4 on the counter there. It can be evidenced of you having felt that others didn't understand, accept, and love you and honor you as you were. And maybe so that led you to kind of be a little bit more by yourself. But I feel like you gain a lot of creative energy from being engaged with other individuals, and really even in a scorpionic type of a way, getting to the underbelly of people, their own vulnerabilities, and letting it be okay for them to be vulnerable, and empowering that admonition that others might make to you by saying, I understand, I've been there myself, and something that I could add, offer, blah, is, whatever it might be in your situation. So coming next, another advice card, number 18, clearing away the excess here with the manta ray. I'm clued into the way that they camouflage from above and below. The top is dark so that looking down into the water, any type of above predator, they blend into the dark sand at the dark of the bottom. But then from below, any predators looking up at them in the water, there's a light underside that blends into the sunlight and the lighter above. So there's something here about that. It says you're entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it's in your physical body or in your physical space. Very nice. So next, you needn't worry. I think that that's again with the hater energy, any heckler energy, any type of negativity that others would say belongs to you is most likely, everything has some type of well, not everything, a lot of things have a kernel of truth. We can all be good, bad, and unconscious at times. We've all misstepped. But if somebody's consistently pushing this at you or saying that you're too much or not enough, don't worry about their opinion. There's no one in your life who hasn't always loved you. They're all just learning how to show it, big sillies. The universe. Some of these people are a little more serious than sillies, with the unconscious use of our words and energy to somehow harm other individuals. Words can be violence in their self. Thoughts can be violence in that way. And it's unfortunate to find people in those situations, but I enjoy something I heard the other day. Somebody said, anybody who's a hater, they're actually, if they're so focused on you, they're actually an undercover lover. And maybe seeing it in that way will help matters, because I've had my own hecklers and haters. And the reason that they're picking on somebody is because of their own vulnerability and insecurity. And if they're picking on you, it's probably because they sense some kind of an inner resolve, some type of dedication, heavily powerful, grounded energy here with that powerful love that endures, your ability to persevere. You represent something to them that they have not embraced. And so you needn't worry about their opinions. Be true to yourself. You may not ever understand what's going on in these other people's lives and minds, but you can always figure out what's going on in yours. Tally ho, the universe. Beautiful. You needn't worry about those other individuals. And if you've got something big coming in for yourself, then don't worry about the way that you're received. Some people are always going to like us. Some people are always going to find something that we aren't perfect about. And such is life. So I will say that in the pre-shuffle here, you did get this inner child activation, something making you feel young again, perhaps. And then the muse was under the deck. So something may be quite delightful to watch, to see, to hear. You might be getting back into something that brings you a lot of joy, or having a new opportunity to do something like that, or maybe just setting up some time to think about your future and what you would do in the perfect situation. So we've got some flying out underneath the deck. We have Uriel and the Sphinx. So yeah, this definitely talks about the riddles and the mystery of life, and how sometimes us not knowing things is our protection. And sometimes those riddles, such as you'll never be able to know what's at play in somebody else's world. But, we can dig to the bottom of our own energy and really be more and more self-respecting, clearing away the excess, clearing away the clutter of the projected energies, and clearing away the excessive, overwhelming information, the projected collective unconscious. There's always going to be some ugliness in the world, but even though we're in the world, we don't have to be of the world in its entirety. We can allow ourselves to take what we need and to leave the rest. Even in this reading, is highly suggested. So you have 3 nice, powerful cards coming out. We have first number 14, Major. Initiation of the Count Saint Germain has been a very frequent visitor of late. Count Saint Germain is one of the ascended masters that was highly skilled at alchemy and language symbol use, master of language and history, science, philosophy, the true Renaissance man. And two of the main things was his tool of the violet flame helps us to transmute the lower into the higher. So even in the instance of seeing the haters as undercover lovers, helps us to take our mind from well, what do they see in me that's not right? Am I overlooking something tragically wrong about my beingness and creating that seed of fear? Yeah, again, let's not let ourselves even slide down that slippery slope. Um, Belief in the self is essential to being the light that you are for others and the ones that are here that you are able to teach. You know, you're also teaching the haters what it looks like to be you, authentic and successful and highly attuned. And so that violet flame of transmuting the lower into higher, turning lead into gold, charcoal into diamonds, you're doing it every day. You're doing that hard work. Um, and the second thing about Saint Germain that is a real powerful thing to practice is the I am statements. And this might be new to you. If so, definitely look it up because it's a bigger topic than we can really grasp in just a quick tarot reading. But it talks about how vibration becomes matter. I know I've been expounding on this for the last few weeks, and over the course of everything that I've outlaid for everybody, it's talking about specifically how we formulate our perceptions, our intuitions, our thoughts, words, deeds, and awareness and belief patterns into our beingness, and being strong and persevering in the creation and digging out all of who you are, this glorious sphinx like being that is being witnessed by the angels, angelic